belt band squat. What we done now is we can create a lot of load, because sometimes people don't feel that they can get enough load on their jumps. So now when we do this, take a body weight drill, we had the super bands. We just wrapped around the waist, and a smaller one looped through around the feet. Just want to make sure you get them over the middle of your feet. So now we create this great belt band setup without any stress on his upper back or his neck. So first thing we'll do is just kind of work some squats, and kind of see we can work these into circuits. And now we've got speed squats. We're really working resistance. Now we can go into a vertical jump. I'm gonna have him stick a couple landings, once again, taking advantage of the bands. Jump and stick, very, very metabolically challenging again. And then if we can just go straight repeats, if we have a set that we wanna take, 10 reps, we're really gonna let it go, really let it fly and push through that band. So a great way to add extra load, a lot of load, is to set up with a band, and depending on the width and the strength of these bands, you're gonna get more or less resistance. Drop lunge or curtsy lunge. This is a great exercise. Turn it into a multiple plane lunge pattern now. Once again, he's holding it in the goblet, but we could use other implements as well. Really working on stepping back and across the body. Keep being aware of keeping that front foot planted and not letting it shift. Front squat, probably one of my favorite exercises here in the squatting category. Really love the exercise. It's obviously going to force us to keep vertical torso, so we'll keep our back and shin angles as close as possible. Really working full range of motion. Really, really probably the king of all squatting exercises. Goblet squat, great exercise again. Gonna force that torso to stay nice and tall. Great teaching tool, and also great to even start to load up. Should be a staple in your squatting category. Lateral step-ups. Once again, now we take this, make the step-up a multiple plane move. He's holding it in the goblet, but like I say, you can always use a different implement. We cross over on the way up. We never cross over on the way down. He's going to step down safely. Good crossover. Make sure the foot on the box stays pointed forward. Come back over one more time. There you go. Rear foot elevated squat, holding a sandbag. You can hold any implement. Really working on staying tall. This is a great unilateral movement. Just going to work on really stabilizing on that one limb. But at the same time, we are putting a decent amount of load in the back foot. Switch sides. So we want to work full range of motion. Great exercise. Nice. Sandbag bear hug squat. Great teaching tool, really gets you to engage the core. It's very similar to a goblet squat. So we're really gonna work on pulling. He's thinking about actually like he's trying to tear the bag apart, keep his chest nice and big, and work full range of motion on his squat. So you can see it's really gonna force him to stay tall. Sandbag rotational lunge. The ultimate sandbag rotational lunge is probably my favorite exercise in that squatting, lunging, step pattern category. It's just a really demanding exercise. It doesn't need a lot of load, but it's a multiple plane exercise, has a ton of rotational and decelerative forces. So let's take a peek at it. Base level is to just take your time and really literally turn and place it down. So we want to start slowly at this kind of pace, at this kind of movement pattern. As we get better at it, we can increase the tempo, and now we can actually start to swing that bag to add more rotational force as it comes down and kind of wraps around, causes a little more deceleration there on our part. So it's a great exercise, really fits in well into that unilateral category of your lunging, stepping, squatting category. Side lunges, moving our lunge to the frontal plane, which is a very neglected plane. Really working on getting out and getting back. So we can alternate sides or we can stay on one side. We're going to alternate right now. Very, very difficult movement. You're going to have to change your load accordingly. But once again, moving on this frontal plane that we often see neglected in most programs. Side squat. We're using the ultimate sandbag again. Just really want to work on a good range of motion, working that frontal plane. Great, great exercise, great strength exercise in a neglected area. Really work on that hinge and the squat simultaneous. Step-ups, unilateral step lunge pattern. I like to keep the foot on the platform for all the assigned reps before we shift. So we'll switch the sides now. I like to do this, you can do this with any implement as well. Goblet position, sandbag, barbell on the back. But I like to keep that foot on there to make that leg do all the work up and all the work down.